Good evening. So if you were following along, you know that last weekend I talked about how I've just had it with the rain gutter grow system, how I've spent the entire summer trying to get this thing up and running and watertight. And so if you haven't seen that video, I'll put a link to it here, but just to kind of recap, for the past couple months here, I've fought leaks in all of these connections, and I'll fully admit that you know, I'm not a master plumber, and you know, yes, my workmanship is shoddy, but you know, I don't do this for a living also. So you know, one thing that I've really fought with here is that these connections are not all of the same length, and my pipes don't line up all right. And so when I make a T connection, it's really hard to get a good solid fitting on that so that everything lines up. And a couple times I've put the connection in only to find out that it got put in at an angle, and that even though I glued the hell out of it, it wasn't watertight. Also, these fittings that are on where the float valve connects here, I've used plumber's tape on these as well here. It's just a 3/4 inch connection, but you know, it's a funny thing about those things is that you can put plumber's tape to no end, but if you don't drill the hole right, or if you don't seal it right, you'll still have a leak there. Additionally, because these guys are not all a straight run here, there we go. I originally didn't have everything lined up, and so in my manifold, again, I didn't have a good straight connection on there, had a leak, and had to come through with, I think the technical term is funny pipe, but it's just a flexible 1-inch PVC. And then, you know, I've gone through Mart Hale's design, where it's a recirculating system. But down here, you know, again, where it connects to the hose, I've used a 3/4 inch connection to hose connection. I've used an actual PVC to hose connection. I've used a brass fitting, and I think there's a design flaw in the brass fitting, because right at the, even though I've used plumber's tape, several rolls of plumber's tape across this whole thing here, it always seems like anytime there's a swivel or you know, an intentional swivel in the connection, that's always been a leak. That's always been prone to leaks. So, you know, I've spent the better part of 4 months on this thing, and even just when I did fill it up here, I did manage to get one tomato out of it, and I did use the recommended mix. But even still, I wasn't really, I don't know, I'm not really happy with the growth here that I saw on this. And you know, if I were to continue with this here, I've still got 130 some odd buckets for 6 rows to fill up. And yes, I did go big, and yes, I probably should not have done that to begin with, but you know, there comes a point when you have to evaluate, are you throwing good money after bad? And you know, everybody says, well, you've got an investment in this, and no, I don't have an investment in this. What I have is a very expensive lesson that I've learned now that this is not going to work. And you know, there's something called the sunk cost fallacy. It's that you should continue throwing money at something just because you've already thrown a bunch of money at it. And I think this is I'm at a point now where I need to be very mindful of that. And I can continue to throw money at this system here. You know, yes, I understand that you can get buckets for free, or that you can get buckets on the cheap. I don't have time to go out and source buckets, so I'm buying that at retail. And you know, if I were to continue to purchase the equipment that I needed in order to finish this, I could till this whole thing up, put in drip irrigation, and be done with it and guaranteed to have no leaks for a fraction of my remaining cost. And so, yes, it's an expensive lesson, and yes, I probably shouldn't have gone this far into it, but you know, that's where I'm at, and that's the reason why I'm deciding to pivot now. So you know, it's a Thursday evening here. I'm gonna begin by taking these pipes out. I may hang on to them and try to reuse them for a future project or something, but that's where I'm at, and hopefully the next update here you'll see some pipe-free dirt. All right, thanks for watching. If you like this, please remember to hit that thumbs up button, and give me a hit the subscribe button as well. Thank you very much.